All right, so if you didn't write down all that stuff about parallel or perpendicular lines on your blank area here, take some time to do that. Watch that video and the previous one and copy everything about perpendicular lines. Because today we're moving on to parallel and perpendicular lines. More importantly, we're talking about their equations. So on page 88 in your binders, we're doing the classwork today. I'm not going to do all 30 problems. It's going to take too much. I'm going to break this into 2 videos. So let's go ahead and do problem number 1 together. The directions say to lines A and B are parallel, and we've talked about this enough. Parallel lines have the same slope. We're going to graph and label both lines, and then we're going to write the equation of line B. Okay, quickly. Line A, y equals 2x minus 3. So ladies and gentlemen, the 2 is the slope of that line, which you know is 2 over 1, and the y-intercept is negative 3. I'm going to go fast through this because we've done this enough. So you begin at negative 3, 1, 2, 3. Then you rise 2 and run 1. Rise 2, run 1. Rise 2, run 1. Rise 2, run 1. And then maybe go down a couple in the opposite direction. Down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect it with my straight edge. In this case, I'm using my protractor as a straight edge. Draw the arrows indicating that we can go on forever if we wanted to, but we don't. Okay, line B passes through this ordered pair of 0, 4. Well, let's see. 0, 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there. And because it's line A and B are parallel, they have the same slope. So to get the next points on this line, I'm just going to rise 2 and run 1 again. Rise 2 and run 1. Maybe go down a couple here. Okay. And clearly, these 2 lines are parallel. When you connect the dots, you can actually see that they won't intersect. Now, the question, though, this is, by the way, B, and this is line A. The question is asking us for the equation of line B. Well, what 2 pieces of information do you need to write the equation of a line? Well, you should be answering out loud, the slope and the y-intercept. Yes, you need the slope and the y-intercept. Well, guys, you already know the slope of B. The slope of B is the same as slope as A because they are parallel. It told you so. So all you need is this magic guy right there. And the magic guy is called the y-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 4 is the y-intercept. So the equation of line B is y equals same slope, 2x, except instead of minus 3, it's plus 4 because it's a different y-intercept. What would happen if they had the same y-intercept? If this was the same as that, they would be the same line. They wouldn't be parallel, they would be the same line. So clearly, these 2 lines are parallel because not only do they never intersect, they have the same slope, but a different y-intercept. That might be the answer to a bonus question. Parallel lines have the same slope, but a different y-intercept. Okay, I'm going to move on to number 4. Skip 2 and 3. They're the same exact thing. You would graph them the same way and do the same procedure. But the reason I'm doing number 4 here is because if you look, see how that's 0, 7 and that's 0, negative 5? Those are the y-intercepts. That's kind of cheating. It's easy. Number 4 has different point here. So I'm going to do number 4 with you and see what we get. Number 4, y equals 4x plus what? Plus 0, right? Plus 0. That means that the slope is 4 and the y-intercept is 0, which means, of course, that this line passes through the what? Origin is what you're saying out loud. And you can see I've had to erase this because I had to do this video twice. I love making YouTube videos. 0. Starts at 0, then rises 4, runs 1. Rises 4, runs 1. Maybe do it in the opposite direction a little bit. And there's line A. Label it line A. Okay. Line B is parallel to this, so we know it's going to have the same slope, but we need to find out where it passes through the y-axis. So it's telling us that it passes through 3, negative 3. Well, 3, negative 3 is a point that's located 3 to the right and 3 down. But since it has the same slope, I'm still going to rise 4, and run 1. Now, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to connect the points, and I have a problem. Where does line B hit the y-axis? Well, at the moment, it doesn't, but this arrow indicates that it does, actually. Eventually it will, but we're out of room. And let's pretend that we are not allowed to go past that point. So we have to figure out where exactly line B is going to hit the y-axis without graphing it. So even if I pretended like it, it's way down here below this. So back a few lessons ago, specifically on 3.2c and maybe 3.2d, we learned that if we know x and we know y and we know m, we can find b. And that's what we're going to do. Since this graph doesn't touch it, well, let's go ahead and just do our normal thing. We're going to plug stuff into your mama's ex-boyfriend, your favorite equation. So we replace y with -3. We replace m with the same m because it's a parallel line. We replace x with the value that they're giving us for x, and then we're looking for b. Now go ahead and just simplify that. 4 times 3 is 12 equals -3 over here, and then plus b. Subtract 12 from both sides, and you end up with b equals -15. So what does that mean? That means if I was to continue this line, if the graph was long enough, it would intersect way down here at -15. That would be the y-intercept. And look, it kind of looks like it. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Magic. So what's the equation of the line? Well, line B has the same slope, but the y-intercept is -15. Okay? Okay, turn the page, and now we're going to work through a few of these problems. Again, I'm going to have to break this up into 2 videos because it's a long lesson. I apologize, but fortunately you have a wonderful substitute teacher helping you and the most awesome YouTube math video guy ever. Okay. In the following problems, lines A and B are parallel. You know that means that they have the same m. I'm actually going to give you a little symbol for parallel. The word parallel, the parallel lines, pardon me, we're back. Parallel, the symbol for parallel is this. It's 2 lines kind of at an angle, like a sideways 11. So if I said parallel m, doesn't that mean a parallel slope? And I kind of want to just use those symbols to make it a little easier on us. Okay, find an equation for line B without graphing. So no more graphing for this part. If it says find the equation of line B which is parallel to line A and passes through 2, 3. So first of all, line A has -3 as its slope, right? Well, what we just did on problem number 4 is what we're going to do right here for this problem. So if it's parallel to this, we know that line B, the parallel slope for line B is going to be the same as the slope for line A. So line B has a slope of -3 also. But we don't know is what the y-intercept is. So this is x, this is y, your slope is -3, so all you do to find the equation for line B is plug stuff in and find b. Here we go. 3 equals same slope times 2, I'm just plugging stuff in, finding b. 3 equals -6 plus b, add 6, you end up with b equals 9. So the equation of line B is y equals same slope, -3x, different y-intercept, plus 9. Obviously they have the same slope, so they're parallel. They have a different y-intercept, so they're 2 different lines. Okay, let's try number 6. Parallel. When you see that word, immediately say, hey, the slopes are the same. So line B has a slope of 1/3. What it doesn't have, it must not have a y-intercept of 2. It has a different y-intercept. So again, plug in the x and y like we've done a million times now. So y is 2, so 2 equals same slope, 1/3 times x, which is -6 plus b. You should be comfortable with this. It's kind of fraction busting itself, so this is really 2 equals 1/3 of -6 is -2 plus b. Add 2 to both sides, and I'm going to move over here. b equals 2 plus 2 is 4, so my new equation is y equals same slope, x plus 4. There you go. Okay, the first video you saw talked about perpendicular lines. So make sure you really kind of emphasize number 7 here. You already actually have the answers to all this from the previous video, all that stuff that I told you to copy. Well, let's just kind of summarize it very simply. Given the slope of a line, how do you determine the slope of a perpendicular line? First of all, I want to show you the symbol for perpendicular. It's like an upside down capital T, because these are perpendicular lines. So that's the symbol for perpendicular. So guys, what is the slope of a perpendicular line? Well, perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. In other words, one's positive, one's negative, and they are reciprocals of each other. reciproca, that's a sloppy A, L-A-A-L-S. Okay? Opposite reciprocals. So examples would be 1/3. The perpendicular would be -3. Okay? What if I said -4? The perpendicular would be +1/4. Okay? So this is the easiest problem you can do on today's lesson. What is the slope of a perpendicular line given these equations? So if this is your original slope, what would the perpendicular slope be? Well, the original slope is 3, so what is the opposite reciprocal of 3 is -1/3. How about for this? The perpendicular slope of -2/3 is, hopefully you'd say +3/2. Opposite means it's the opposite sign, and then flip it. Now, what slope do we see here? Well, at this point, you should know that this is -1, and we talked about that on the previous video. Perpendicular slope would be the opposite reciprocal of -1 is +1. Remember, 1's that unique number that has itself as a reciprocal. And letter D, -2/1, the perpendicular slope would be +1/2. Now, letter E, this guy says y = 5. I'm going to rewrite this for you. By now, you should be recognizing that y = 5 does not have an x in it. These are one of those tricky ones. This guy has a slope of 0 because it's really y = 0x + 5, isn't it? Now, this is a tricky one. If a slope of 0, this has a slope of 0, you know it's a horizontal line, right? Slope of 0, this is 0 fun. It's a horizontal line. So what lines are perpendicular to horizontal lines? Well, you should be thinking, well, think about a horizontal line. What would be perpendicular? That would be a vertical line. Well, what are the slopes of vertical lines? Think of the video again. If this has a slope of 0, isn't this slope right here undefined? And that's indeed the case. The slope of a perpendicular line is undefined. Okay? 2.5 minutes left of this video. In the following problems, lines A and P are easy for me to say. Lines A and B are perpendicular. Graph them and write the equation of line B. It's just like this, except instead of having the same slopes, they're going to have perpendicular slopes. And remember, perpendicular slopes are opposite reciprocals. So, line A has a slope of 4. So what is the perpendicular slope? If it's 4, the perpendicular slope would be -1/4. It's the opposite reciprocal of that slope. So that is the answer to the line B because it's saying line A and B are perpendicular. So you know the slope of line B is perpendicular. It's -1/4 because that has a slope of +4/1, right? Okay, so we're supposed to graph the line and then write the equation of it. So line B, it passes through 4, -7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's where we're putting our point for line B, and it has a slope of -1/4. So down 1, right 4. I counted 3. Down 1, right 1, 2, 3, 4, or up 1, left 1, 2, 3, 4. And then right there, you should be stoked. Here's line B, and line B is there, and of course my pen. There's line B as I have re-leaded my pencil. Line A, we didn't graph that yet. Line A has a y-intercept of 9, which is way up here, and a slope of 4. So you're going to rise 4 and run 1, which I can't do, but instead I can go down 4 and left 1, down 4, left 1, down 1, 2, 3, 4, and left 1, down 1, 2, 3, 4, and left 1. Now, makes it clear that we need to extend line B a little bit. So we went down 1 and right 4, or up 1 and left 1, 2, 3, 4, which is right there. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. Okay. Now, just for fun, I'm out of time. Continue this on the next video.